breaking news again. As we mentioned, this is a live look from our TransStar City Cam. We just saw Gage and Corley on the ground. This is where you can see just the amount of law enforcement presence there along the feeder of Lakewood. A couple ambulances and multiple units from different departments there as well. We want to go back out to our Gage Goulding. Gage, you were on scene as this unfolded. Talk to us about what you've seen. We heard from Corley. She spoke to a woman who said that she texted her husband and her father because she was scared about what might happen next. What are you hearing from folks as they come out?
Yeah, whenever I arrived, I mean, there were still a mass of people flowing out. You know, whenever these kind of incidents happen, they start blocking off streets kind of in a restrictive area, right? They start blocking outwards. You know, whenever I arrived, there was none of that. We were right up here, one of the first on the scene, you know, ahead of many firefighters and sheriff's deputies. But what we're hearing is just scared. They didn't know what happened. The really concerning thing that I heard, though, was that a lot of people were like, you kind of expect this thing. It's always in the back of your mind. One gentleman telling me that as he pushed his mother, you know, he dropped to the floor and he realized his mother, who was wheelchair bound, could not do that. So he got up and he was like, I got to get her out of here. That is tough to hear. I mean, I couldn't even imagine thinking that, right? As a son, as a family member, pushing somebody out because that's the only way. You know, they can't drop to the floor. They can't get down because you don't know what's going on. You just hear gunshots. But Corley was talking about this lobby area. I believe this is the lobby that she's talking about. This is off of Timmins Road near Southwest Freeway frontage. Southwest Freeway is on the other end of these American flags over here. This is what truly is kind of like the main lobby here. And I'm not sure if we can zoom in. We do see a lot of the tactical deputies on the far side, so that's going to be on the south side of the church. Right now we are on the northeast side, and as we pan over to the right, we see what looks like a conglomeration, maybe a meeting or a debrief or a briefing of some sort of Houston Fire, Houston Police, Harris County deputies. We do know that Harris County deputies, they kind of push this over to the Houston Police, saying that HPD will be handling this situation, but this is still very active with quite a number of resources on scene from just about every agency that you can imagine here in Harris County, Bill.
And Gage, we saw through some of your images earlier, some of those deputies, law enforcement, police officers with their weapons drawn along the entrances or exits to Lakewood. From what you can gather, do you feel that this scene is still very active, or do you think that the danger that was posed is now over?
So we hear active, we hear fluid all the time from law enforcement. Those are kind of confusing terms, but there is a lot of people still here. There are a lot of resources. There are a lot of ambulances, fire trucks, and deputies here. There are helicopters flying around, both news and police and everybody else. I would say that look, you have some people over here that are still trying to find their way maybe to their cars. They're being escorted by law enforcement, trying to maybe find their way out of here or to their cars. A lot of the cars in this parking garage are still here, so probably people that can't get to this parking garage. It's a little bit more relaxed in that sense. I don't know if that means for us out here that a threat has been neutralized or taken care of, or not necessarily a threat to us out here, or maybe they're just dealing with something on the inside. You know, it's hard to tell in terms of what's going on the inside of these walls from what we're dealing with out here. But when you see kind of this briefing that we're seeing over here, you know, that's usually a good indicator of maybe hopefully things wrapping up, because there's not a lot of running around, right? We saw a lot of running, we saw a lot of grabbing of equipment out of the back of law enforcement vehicles, but right now we're not necessarily seeing that. We're seeing helmets off, we're seeing guns in holsters, we're seeing people on the, you know, by people I mean law enforcement or police or the firefighters, all kind of different teams here. We're seeing them on the phone, we're seeing them communicate. That's typically a good sign, but you know, we look right down here, you know, there's still talking on the radios, there's still chatter. This is obviously still a scene. People are not flowing in here, and by people, once again, law enforcement, you know, they're not running towards here, but there's still a lot of moving parts out here. So I try not to use those words, active and fluid, but it truly does describe the situation in the best sense. Bill?
Okay, thank you, Gage. Please keep us updated. Want to go now to a tweet from Harris